Week one of the NFL is here, and with tons of excitement comes even more excitement because we can win $100,000. Yo, what's going on, everybody? That's right, the NFL is here, and you're hanging out on Winning Bets. And on this episode, we're going to talk about the Fox Bet Super 6 app where you can win $100,000. You guys remember this contest from last season? They give you 6 games. You got to break down all 6 games. You got to give them a winner, and you got to give them the ultra tough. You got to give them that win margin. But if you can do it, you can win that $100,000. We got a special guest on today's show to go ahead and join us here for week one of the NFL. Let's go ahead and bring him in. You guys know him. He's a friend of the show. He's Matt. He wants to talk football on Fridays because that's what we do. Well, let's talk some football. Let's just talk the oval version instead of the circle there, Matt. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm super excited to break down some NFL with you. I feel like I've prepped, I've done some good preparation for it, and I feel ready. Football is definitely my first love. It's so exciting to have it back right now. It just
So,
feels, it's just like the world's finally, after post COVID, everything has just gotten back to normal now. I feel like, and then this season it just feels all right now. So. Feels like we're back. Feels like we're really back this time. So
it does
yeah,
feel that.
I'm super excited, and my boys are going into your city this weekend, and it looks like that's one of them on this contest. So I'm excited to break that one down.
That definitely is. My boys obviously kicked off the NFL season last night. Not a great game, but I thought definitely entertaining throughout the entire bit. Obviously, being a Bills fan, may have liked it to more than most people, but hey, great to have it back. As you said, we get it back 4 nights a week or whatever it is, and just can't get enough of it. The games could just come, just like we were usually sitting here talking about Premier League, and you get weekend and midweek, the games come. Let's just bring the NFL. Let's just get the games
Yeah.
hot and heavy. So. Of course, we aren't talking about soccer with the Queen Elizabeth passing away, but had to get you on in here. Love your football knowledge, so let's talk football. Again, we'll just do it the American version. So let's just go ahead and kick it off. It's 6 games. We got to correctly predict them. Your boys are right off the top. It's the 49ers coming into Chicago to take on the Bears. Why don't you top it off here? You know more about the 49ers than most people.
Yeah, I would like to say I know more about the 49ers than anyone, at least in the state of Indiana. Like, I'm the
That's
biggest
right.
fan. I'm the biggest Niners fan probably in the state, and that's how I feel about them. I grew up loving them. My dad actually was a coach, an assistant coach on the 49ers in the 80s. He was a personal trainer. He trained about 3 or 4 of those guys. And so he got to learn and, watch Bill Walsh coach. Got to, throw the ball around with Joe Montana and stuff. I've got some nice autographs of Montana and Young up in my kids' room back in my mom's place. And
Love it.
so yeah, I mean, I grown up being a fan. That's where I was born in that area. Um, so so yeah, if you want me to talk about the Niners, I'll tell you just a couple. I have some futures. This week is, to me, it's very interesting with George Kittle being out. These two teams played last season, and it was very close. It was in the same spot. I don't know why this match is again at Soldier Field, like, because it's now 2 years in a row. I guess that just doesn't really make any sense to me why this wouldn't be in San Francisco. But um, so just a couple futures I want to just talk about that do have.
Sweet. Love it. Love
Grabbed
it. Give
Trey
it to
Lance.
us.
I grabbed Trey Lance to win the MVP back in January, February.
Hey, you drinking the
Uh,
Kool-Aid over there, brother. You like full on chugging it.
I did. I have, like, it would be a really nice pay if Trey Lance does what
Of
I hope
course.
and pray that he will do. And the whole base is, I don't even know. That's the thing, is no one really knows how good he is. All I know is that he's got Kyle Shanahan calling the plays for him, and he's athletic. He looks like, I mean, the ceiling obviously would be Josh Allen. He has the same body style as Josh Allen, and Josh Allen needed a couple years to figure it out.
Yeah,
So that's where I see Lance's ceiling being. And Allen was incredible last night, by the
sure.
way. I mean, he is just
He's
incredible. And
incredible.
I cashed a couple live tickets last night. It was like we're back like nothing left.
No.
I'm kind of going all over the place here, but like in the second half, I figured that I thought it was like a 50-50 chance that the Bills would score a touchdown pretty much every time they touched
I
it.
mean, yeah, they didn't
And
punt it.
then the odds that I was getting was plus 185 and plus I got a plus 250 ticket, and that was the one I bet it probably 1 minute before the long bomb to Diggs. Right, Diggs scored a
Diggs,
long
yep.
touchdown in the second half. Um, so like those, I went 2-0 on those. I love those kind of angles sometimes when I see really good offense. And but back to this, so I've got some Lance in pocket at 80-1. Most of the places he's down to like 30 and 40-1. So like I felt really good about where at least I got the number. And I really like Nick Bosa to be the defensive player of the year at
Okay.
15-1. I think that he is just incredible. You can still find 15-1. Some places it's down to like 8s. So definitely shop around. Love those two bets. I think that one of those two has a really good chance to cash at like big prices. But on to this game, Jason. Now we're finally getting back around to this. I'm
It's full.
sorry.
It's the NFL. Like nobody cares. Like everybody watching this is enjoying it. Like it doesn't matter as long
Yeah.
as you're spitting out some NFL talk. Like we're all enjoying it. So I'm sitting back
No.
enjoying it myself. So laughing a little bit, but that's more of like it's just a playful, just kind of,
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of homer in me, but I think that the Niners are a top 5 team in the NFL. I just do. Like, they have incredible pieces all around. They have the best tackle in the league. They have one of the best linebackers. They just have a lot of good pieces. So, and then here we come into Bears week 1, Soldier Field. There's kind of an old adage, Jason, like this game's going to be kind of slow, I
yeah.
think,
Oh yeah.
because Chicago, they love to grow out the grass. That is a real thing out there that so the grass will be thick. It generally slows this game down, which I don't like. I wish this was more of a track meet style, I think. Um, I think that the Niners, the obvious edge that they have in this game is their pass rush is probably number 1 or number 2 in the NFL, going up against probably a bottom 5 offensive line. So that is, and that's just huge. Like Justin Fields is going to have to be scrambling around and playing one of the best games of his life, I think, for the Bears to win this game outright. I don't think it's impossible for him to do, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult. But there are a couple key injury pieces that the Niners are losing that I wish they had. Jimmy Ward, top 100 player by the NFL rankings or whatever on the NFL Network show that they do. He was like 95. He's probably a top 5 safety in the NFL. He's out. George Kittle looks like he is not going to go. I think that George Kittle is, in terms of fantasy, he's not the best, but I think in terms of overall football player, I think he's the best tight end in the NFL. And I don't think it's close.
His blocking sets him apart.
Yeah, I think that he's another level than Travis Kelce in terms of football player. But so, I mean, then it comes down to this one. We've got a low total here, Jason. It's under 40 and a half, over under 40 and a half.
It's gonna be right there. Like
yeah,
whoever can get to 20 first probably wins the game.
Yeah, I like the rain. I think that the rain smash mouth factor really benefits the Niners here. I do hope it rains. So I've got this one down as I think that the Niners do win this game, just by how much. And what do you think, Jason?
Well, the win margins on this game, just talking about that in terms of picking anybody, whether they're on the Bears or the 49ers, this app doesn't give away the money too often. I mean, you saw the pick margins. It's 1-2, 3-4, 5, super tight windows. That being said, you mentioned last season's games of how it was tough. It certainly was tough, close game. I think it's only going to be close in another tough game. Look, I don't really know what you're going to get from Chicago, right? They don't have Matt Nagy. They've now gone to the offensive coordinator there of the Colts, somebody you're familiar with. So we're expecting Justin Fields to probably be better, but not guaranteed. But certainly a new system. The city of Chicago hated Matt Nagy and couldn't push him out the door fast enough. So I don't really think there's a quarterback edge. I get your Super Bowl future or your MVP
I don't
future
think
there with Trey Lance, but because of the offensive unknown with what you're going to get from the Bears, I'm not willing to call it an advantage, in that department there for the 49ers. Playmakers, give it to me with Debo and give me Ayuk all day long. Hopefully Kittle comes, but to your point, it does look like he's out. I think the Bears defense will always hang around. They're always going to keep games low scoring. They're going to grind them out. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid. I'm not a Bears fan. Everybody knows that. I don't really listen to radio, so I'm not drinking Kool-Aid. I'm going to go with the unknown factor. I'm going to take the home team at home in week 1. I'm going Bears 3-4. I'm going Bears. That's where I fell, is Bears 3-4 here. And
so I've fallen in the Niners 3-4. I don't think that the Niners necessarily cover this game. But I do think, like, if it is kind of like, if it's raining a lot, for example, and like they're playing that style, I mean, the Niners will have a significant edge because their offensive line and defensive line is superior in this matchup, and that's really where football is won and lost. So I'm going to go with Niners to win by 3 or 4. I'm not sure that they cover, but I do think that they get by here in week 1.
Well, the spread was a touchdown, wasn't it? 7?
Touchdown right now. Yeah, it's a touchdown.
All right, this next one I think is tough to predict, and I think it's tough to predict because of Jameis Winston. You know what I mean? You're going to come out and get a couple interceptions, or you're going to come out and get 3 touchdowns. So he makes it a little bit tough for me to pick a winner here, or maybe even pick a margin to winner. I like Marcus Mariota, shown flashes in the stops he's been at in Oakland, shown flashes when he's been down in Tennessee. So I have no problem with Mariota. I like the second-year system under Arthur Smith. Okay, they were bad last year. A lot of teams are bad when they're in a transition of going through 3 levels of coaching staffs, being the offense, defense coordinators, and the head coach. I'm expecting the Falcons to be a little bit better. I'd like to see the Saints have Michael Thomas. We don't know if he's going to be suit up and play. I think if they have Michael Thomas with a Jarvis Landry, with an Alvin Kamara, okay, now it's really looking like the Saints can maybe, upset the Falcons here. I'm not upset in terms of spread, but go in there in Atlanta and get the win. Otherwise, without a Michael Thomas, relatively even. Maybe the Falcons can cover this spread with a big Jameis Winston unknown. So I'm going to lean that the Saints can win this game. I'm going 3-4, though. I do like the Saints winning at 3-4.
That's right where I'm at. I'm in the same boat. I think that the Falcons cover this game. I think it's sneaky. I think that, in the NFL, when you look at it, I think everyone in the public probably assumes, look, the Falcons, I mean, they're awful. And they might be. But the things that I like in this matchup is when you look at on the offense for the Saints, they've got a nice wide receiver trio and Landry, Thomas, Olave. That's going to be really nice. But then on the flip side, like the one strength that I do see with this Falcons team is their secondary is pretty nice. They've got a couple nice corners. So it'll be really up to like that nickel corner to guard Landry. I think that Landry will have a somewhat of a decent day here because I think the other 2 guys are getting shadowed by pretty decent corners here. So Kamara should probably eat here.
Yes.
I mean, he should have a bunch of targets.
You can get him at minus 125 to get anytime touchdown. Minus 125 for Kamara.
Minus 125 anytime touchdown's a good look. I'd be looking towards catches. I think that he probably has a decent amount of targets here. I think he gets some dump offs and stuff. I like Winston a little bit. Like I think that his ceiling is so high and his floor is so low. It's just like you just never know. You never know what you're going to get. But I do think with a full season of prep, let's not, he left to come here to sit behind and watch Drew Brees for a whole season. Like, I mean, credit to Winston a little bit. Like they didn't have that ego about him that I need to go someplace and immediately go play after being a starter for Tampa. Yeah. So I think that he knows the system like the back of his hand. I think that that all of those things point in the right direction. But in this one, in week 1, in the division, in that NFC South, I'm always going to probably lean towards grabbing the point. So I think that the Saints win this game. I like their future outlook, but I do think that Atlanta can hang here.
There's I just watched a video from Maddie Betts over on TikTok. It was yesterday or 2 days ago. Home teams in the division in week 1 are covering the spread at like 67%, 68%, something like that in the upper 60s. So Saints probably pull one out. Jameson probably has enough, but look for the Falcons to cover that spread and walk away with it against the spread win. So, all right, we see that one the same. Let's see if we can agree here on this one, or maybe we disagree, which is the great part about football. What about those Jaguars and those Commanders? Carson Wentz coming into Washington. He's an upgrade, folks. Everybody wants to bag him and throw him under the bus. You can bag him and throw him under the bus, but also acknowledge he is an upgrade over Heineke and over Fitzpatrick. I'll go ahead and take Carson Wentz. You got Terry McLaurin. You got Logan Thomas, as long as he can stay healthy, which he'll be playing in this one more than likely. He's a good pass-catching tight end while he's healthy. Terry McLaurin, I don't see much of the Jaguars being able to stop this guy. For the Jaguars, it's obviously Trevor Lawrence. Now, second year, they don't have the shit show down in Jacksonville with the Urban Meyer and all that. They've now brought in Doug Peterson, who's brought in some stability. So we obviously think they're going to improve a little bit. I still like this Commanders defense, though. No Chase Young, still going to be too early for him, but I still like that defensive line. Sweat and Allen got some real nice pieces there. Jaguars, are Christian Kirk, Jay Jones, and Marvin Jones, like that doesn't scare me at all. I'm taking the Commanders in this one. I like them pulling this out at home in week 1. I'm going 7-8. Give me a 7-8. They're gonna win it by a tutty.
I'm on the opposite side here. I like the Jags in this one. This is a good week 1 matchup. Like I won't be probably having a wager on this one, but I would be with the Jags because I think that Chase Young is a huge miss here. I mean, I think that he is what makes that defense go from, slightly above average to really a solid core in this league. And I don't know. I think I'm drinking the Trevor Lawrence Kool-Aid a little bit. Like I think that he started to show signs at the end of last season that he's the guy. Let's not forget just a few months ago, towards the back end of last season, Trevor Lawrence beat Carson Wentz to send the Colts out of the playoffs. The Colts were a lot stronger team than this Commander squad.
The amount of pain I lost and the amount of money I had on that game. I thought there was no way the Colts would lose. I lost an absurd amount of cash on that game.
Yeah.
So that was like my hammer. That was my hammer lock in Week 18 in the NFL. Parlay them with any opponent you want. The Colts ain't going to lose down in Jacksonville. And Carson Wentz looked terrible. He looks so
then
bad.
There's some other weird, So Carson Wentz, I've heard enough of the slander of him being in Indianapolis. All my friends, everyone hates Carson Wentz. I'm with you. I don't think that he's nearly as bad as what everyone thinks, and I think that he's got some nice weapons here. I think he upgrades weapons. He has to be downgrading his offensive line though, which is a concern because the Colts always have a top 5, top 10 offensive line at least over the last couple seasons. So I don't know their line back the back of my hand, but I would assume it's a downgrade. But I think that McLaurin, who else do they have? They have some other really nice weapons. They just signed, the Dotson.
They got Dotson, the rookie. He's going to be good.
Curtis Samuel's pretty nice. I like Zay Jones and some of the other guys though on the Jags as well. I think that Zay Jones is actually really an underrated wide receiver. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't send him out of Buffalo fast enough. You get him out of here. He's terrible.
Yeah, he didn't work out there, but he did pretty well in Las Vegas. He was decent for them. Anyways, I'm going to say that the Jags do this in week 1. I think that they continue to ride off the high. I think that Lawrence has an ascension this season, and I think that he does. You see why he was the number 1 guy drafted last season, and I think that it'll be good to have a full year under his belt. And I think that Chase, missing this one is huge. So I'm going to go with the Jags to win by 3-4.
Jags went by 3-4. All right, it'd be interesting to see if Doug Peterson can maybe pick up on some of the weaknesses there by Carson Wentz, and maybe he can exploit them. Obviously, he knows him pretty well. All right, let's keep it moving here. We've got the Hard Knocks Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. It has nothing to do with Hard Knocks locks, but I'm liking this Lions team. That fight last season, there were so many games where they were. I mean, just look at that Ravens one where the Ravens pulled it off there at that last field goal. Lions are in. It feels like every single game last season. They're going to play them tough. A lot of people are on the Eagles. They've got it between the Eagles and Cowboys in that division. I would still throw the Commanders up in there a little bit if Wentz can give them some solid play. But I like the Lions there. Another year in the system. Jalen Hurts doesn't overly impress me. I've not just been impressed by him. That guy has to rely on his legs a little bit too much for my liking. That doesn't play in the fourth quarter when you got to throw it down the field. So I'll be taking the Lions in this one at home, liking everything that they're doing. Like the pieces. What was the win margin? What did I have? I had 5-6. 5-6 on the win margin. Give it to me.
I'm gonna go head to head on you on this one. So I do have some Dan Campbell to be the coach of the year in pocket. I love Dan Campbell, and 14-1s, 15-1s is what you can find out there. I just love everything about him, the Hard Knock stuff. When you watch him, I think that he is the guy to take the Detroit Lions to the next step. And I also think that the Lions are going to be really sneaky on spreads this year. I think that they are like the team. I think if you blindly bet the Lions each week, I think that by the end of the season, you would come out with money in your pocket, with more money than you started with. Because I look at it. Here's my fun fact, actually, of the whole season that somebody told me a couple months ago and I couldn't believe is the Detroit Lions have the most expensive offense in the NFL.
Oh, were they paying Jared Goff some absurd amount?
Golf, but then they've also paid like some nice offensive linemen and like they've paid some guys.
They've got
And I
some running
think
backs. I love Swift, the running back. They got nice
love
pieces.
Swift,
They got
love
nice
Swift,
pieces.
love Jamal Williams. I think it's a
Yeah.
nice combination. Love Hawkinson, love
Yes.
Amon St. Brown. I mean, these guys like if you had Amon St. Brown in your fantasy league last year and you were in the playoffs, you probably won. I mean, he was putting up 20 to 25 to 30 every game during the playoff stretch of fantasy last year. And there's a good video of Ramon St. Brown. I've drafted him a couple of times this season in my fantasy leagues. And there's some good stuff about him basically saying he has every single wide receiver and where they went to college that was picked in front of him memorized.
Oh, he's one of those kind of players. He's got that chip.
Yeah, I mean, because there was 14 guys that selected ahead of him. So,
Yeah.
like, I feel for that, and he really did ball towards the end of last season. They've made they got DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to the scrimmage of Colts Lions about a month ago and I got a little bit of film work done on Detroit. I think that they're really solid, but let's not forget the fact that like this game last year they played, and it was an absolute blowout if I remember correctly. Let me just make sure it was a blowout. I think 44-6. I mean, teams were different, but the Philly have these pieces around them that they're starting. I would be all over. I hope that Philly loses this game. I've been listening to some other people too. I think a lot of people think if Philly loses this game, then that's when you jump in on them to win the NFC East, because then you will find more value, and I agree with that.
You can take any team but the Giants to win NFC East. That division is always 50-50. Who knows who's going to win? They all have a chance. You can take anybody and come out probably a little bit ahead.
Yeah. But the Eagles, I mean, so this they get A.J. Brown, who's probably a top 5 on pure talent receiver in the NFL. He's got the Hurts connection. They've got Goddard. They run the ball so well. They have a top 5 offensive line, the Eagles. Their defense is nice. Their defensive, I mean, this is a tough game for Detroit in week 1.
That's tough.
I think it comes a little bit too soon for them. And so I'm going to, and this was one that a lot of people are gravitating towards Detroit. This line is moving down. It's, I think it opened up in the 5-6 range. Now we're seeing 3.5s pop up this morning. I'm going to completely buck that, and I disagree with it. I think that the Eagles win by 7 or 8 here.
It sounds like obviously we both see this kind of close, compact. I think this is one of the greater teaser plays of the entire weekend, is taking the Lions up to over 10.5. If you can grab it like I did at 4.5, just throw them on a 6-point parlay or a 6-point teaser. Now you can get them at 10.5 and find somebody else out there you like to parlay with. I think the Lions to me aren't getting blown out here at home with how competitive they've been. So I think they're a great little teaser piece this weekend.
I think a decent play, and it's been steamed up. So in mid-June, this total was at 44.5, and this is all the way up to 49.5. So everyone is flooding into this over, and I do agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with betting the 49.5 right now. I think that you missed it, and you might as well just lay off.
Yeah.
But I do see both of these offenses having no trouble moving the ball. I think that Detroit, they're going to have Goff throw the ball a lot this season, like 40, 50 times. You'll see. And I think that the Eagles will have no problem moving the ball on Detroit's defense. So, I agree. I think that this game has, 28-24, like 28-20, 21, something like that written all over it.
What was your Eagles prediction, just for the people that want to follow you on this app? What were you saying?
I think the Eagles win by a touchdown. So I think the Eagles 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Man, those margins are so tough. It's like they don't really want to give away the money. So bastards of them. Yeah. All right. Anybody making a case here for the Steelers going into Cincinnati and pulling off a win with Mitchell Trubisky? I have a hard time believe in anything about this one. To me, it's too new, too much on the offense, working in Trubisky to try and go into Cincinnati and get the win with obviously all the chemistry and everything that they've got coming back from next season. Just going to be that much hungrier after being there last year, not being able to finish it. I cannot make a case that the Steelers can go in and pull this one off. I don't even think I can see the Steelers keeping it close. Not a Mitchell Trubisky guy. There's a reason why he's already on his third team. I've got the Bengals. I'm going to go 9-10 on this one. They're going to maybe touch double digits to get that 10-point win. It's going to be comfortable. I think this was comfortable throughout.
I'm in full agreement. I'm going to stretch it to Bengals by 11-14. I am not backing Mitchell Trubisky here in the first game. I mean, I'm just not. You're going to just. It's this game pretty much is as simple as Trubisky versus Burrow.
Yeah.
Weapons of Bengals. I know that Pittsburgh's defense is good, but are they good enough to slow down Burrow for 4 quarters? I don't think so. And I think that I'm just not backing Mitchell Trubisky here on the road in an environment that normally people would be like, well, you're going into Cincinnati. What's the big deal? Those fans down there are super fired up about this football team. That place is going to be absolutely rocking. I remember like a few seasons ago, I could go in and get a $75 ticket and sit in the lower level in Cincinnati. That's not happening anymore.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, I think that the Bengals win here. I think that they cover. And I also think that this game goes under the total because I do trust Pittsburgh's defense to be able to at least, not make things that comfortable for the Bengals here. But then on the flip side, I think that the Bengals defense will be able to get after Trubisky, and Trubisky will have a problem here. So I think that this is like a 24-10 kind of game.
Okay, yeah. If you ever want to try and figure out, maybe try and pick up winners in the NFL, look no further than the quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league, and yeah, we're taking Burrow over Trubisky all day long, and tomorrow as well. We'll be taking
tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that.
You want to talk about NFL futures? Before we break down this, you shared some NFL futures you've got, so I'll share the only 2 that I placed. And this was one night I was not drinking the Kool-Aid; I was drinking the bourbon when I made these bets. I remember doing it on a Saturday night. I put in 2 bets of Kirk Cousins to be the Offensive Player of the Year at 80-1. And then I also put him to be the MVP at 50-1. Sprinkled on some money on that. I could have some hell of a paydays. I think this division's wide open. I think you're looking at the Packers, you're looking at these Vikings. I have a hard time picking a winner between the 2 of them. Look at Aaron Rodgers over the year. He's never liked any wide receiver other than Devontae Adams. Now he's forced to throw to these guys that he's body language on the field. Doesn't even try to hide his displeasure with their missed route running. So I think this one's going to be tough for them to go into Minnesota. I like it. I like what they're doing. Another year, tough defense. They got the weapons on offense. I like the Vikings in the spot. I'll be drinking the Kool-Aid here on the Vikings at least earlier on and seeing if they can put up a fight to the Packers in this division. I think that ultimately they do pull it out. I like the Vikings to win the division. What I do here, or I'll go put up. Oh, that's what I did. I'm gonna make this a little bigger for the people. Jeez Louise, ain't nobody got baby eyes. I did 3-4. It's gonna be close. I mean, Packers Lions is gonna be a close game. I got 3-4, but I like the Vikings at home in Week 1 pulling it out. Remember, wasn't it the Packers last season that started off, went to like Tampa and got smoked in Week 1, and everybody was worried about the Packers, and they bounced right back. I'm pretty sure that they started off against the Bucks. I'm gonna look that up, but they got rolled.
And let's not forget, though. I mean, the Packers, like, you could still see, though, basically based off that Week 1 performance, that they weren't going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
in a sense, like they were still really good, but they've been so fortunate for so many years, Jason, that this division has been an absolute cupcake. They get Lambeau Field, all throughout the playoffs, and the Niners still go in and beat them, a couple times. And I was at one of those games. It was the best game I've ever been to in my life. And it was in the frozen tundra. It was -5 degrees in Lambeau Field, and Phil Dawson hits a game winner. Colin Kaepernick beats Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau. That was incredible.
That's when he was incredible.
Yeah, so I see the game similarly as you. Like, I think that the Vikings are the better team here. I like your Cousins bets. I think that the more and more I keep hearing about Cousins, the more and more, like, I'm sure that those prices have dropped.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
would
they have.
imagine.
And he's another quarterback that
Yeah.
gets a bad rap. Like, oh, he can't perform well in prime time. Like, dude, there's 11 other dudes, or there's 10 other dudes on the field. Like, it ain't all on Kirk Cousins. The dude is good.
And then my one other, so I'm actually going head to head with you in a sense. I have one offensive player of the year ticket, and it's on Justin Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
So
That's fine.
I
That's fine.
need you to do well, and because Jefferson is just, and I got that at 18 to 1 on Jefferson.
Jeez.
It's not nearly as good of a price as Cousins is, but I just think that Justin Jefferson, they're going to put him in this Cooper Cup role, and no one's going to be able to guard him. They also still have Thielen. Irv Smith looks like if he's can be healthy, that can give him another nice little trio piece, because I think that he plays like a wide receiver when he's healthy. Cook and Madison, beautiful.
And where is Green Bay going this year when they gotta have it? When they gotta have it, and before you knew it was going to number 17. Where's the ball going this year when they gotta have it? I don't know. I struggle. I'm not going to lean on Aaron Jones if that's your only piece, and now we can just focus on him with the linebacker. The Packers are in trouble. They lost this fixture last season when they went into Minnesota 34-31. That game one last year was a beatdown of the Saints, 38-3 in the opener. So they can start off cold coming out just like they did last year. It's a tough opponent to come out.
Let's see here. What is the line on this one? So yeah, they've got Green Bay favored in this one. I think that's poor. This is not the first. This is like the third time, I want to say, in the last 5 years that these two teams have matched up in week one.
It's -1+1, so it's a pick 'em.
I've always been with the Vikings in this matchup, and I'm going to go. Yeah, this is the Vikings play. I'm going to say that Vikings. I think they win this game by a touchdown. I like your 3-4. I'm fine with the 7-8 though as well. So we're definitely seeing this one from the same angle. I think that Minnesota, they're going up, against a tough Packers defense. This defense will be good. It's improved. Yeah. Green Bay's defense, it's solid. And I think that this is an under spot as well, Jason. It's been coming down. It's going from 49. This one's down to 47. Just two teams that know each other very, very well. Interdivision game. Give me the under here in this one.
I mean, I would take the unders generally in week one. You saw it last night. Everybody think it's high scoring. It's not that there's all these offenses that going. Not that it took the Bills offense a little while to get going. They look dangerous on every possession, but there's always another team on the field that could take a little while to get going. So I would probably gravitate towards a lot of unders, just generally speaking, in week one.
I would too. And you saw the sloppiness last night. I mean, the game would have flown over the total if there wasn't so much slop ball.
The turnovers, yeah.
But can we just put this one right here, right now, Jason? Pretty much, if you're watching this, I think that it is a great bet to take the Bills to score over 30 points in every single game this entire season. And some of them will be over. It'll be like 32.5. Take it. They are scoring 35 points, I think, in almost every game. They should have scored 35 last night. There was a couple fluky little turnovers. They could have had 42 last night. Let's be real. 42.
Easily. I try to take it easy in terms of the bets I gave out, but I had personal money on the Bills team total over 26.5. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they're running
that was a layup.
Every game.
That was a layup. So I'm just happy. I didn't really have anything pre-live. I thought that the game was funky. I leaned Bills for sure. But then as the game at least went on, I utilized the eyes. Essentially, I was like, look, I think it's 50-50 here that they score a touchdown, and I'm getting anywhere from plus 185 to plus 250 that the Bills go down and score.
Yeah.
Just that's not a good line. Like, they should be almost even money to score touchdowns. That's how good their offense is. So I love the Bills this year. I mean, I think that they are clearly the best team in the NFL. So
love to hear it. Love to hear it. Hate to hear it at the same time, but love to hear it. Hate to hear it. Love to hear it.
No, yeah, you gotta love to hear it. Allen is such a beast too, man. Like, he's everything I could ever dream that Trey Lance becomes.
Still taking, and I've been watching him now for, what has it been, 4 years or whatever he's been in the league. He takes some of those hits that are just so unnecessary. I get nervous every time. He's one hit away. Some of those.
That's
like,
the only concern.
Just go down, man. Like, you don't need to take on a linebacker every time, even though you're built like a linebacker too. Like, I get it.
I know. That's what you gotta love about him, though. Like, who cares? Like, throw your body at it. Like, I'm trying to win football games. Like, I don't know. I do get the whole like sliding and being safe in certain situations, but God, it's a breath of fresh air, Jason,
Yeah,
to watch Josh Allen play football.
he's good. He's absolutely good. All right, cool. I didn't know what we were going to get into today, other than giving our picks, but I love loved where all the kind of side tangents went and everything like that. Love it, love it. All right, week 1 in the NFL on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Again, you can win $100,000. They'll do this contest each and every single week. So I'll come back. Maybe Matt will join me some weeks as well. We'd love to get his advice and insight on the NFL as well. So, all right, Matt, enjoy week 1 here in the NFL. It all gets started here on Sunday for most teams.
Thanks so much, Jason. Yeah, it's a great time.
And appreciate everybody else for these comments. Fired up. Let's do it again next week, everybody. Enjoy it. Good luck.